Hello, my name is Chedomir Nestorovic, and I am a professor at the ESSEC Business School in Singapore. And today I will give you my predictions for the year 2018. Talking about the predictions for the world would be too ambitious, so we'll concentrate on a couple of countries. The first one is the United States. Very often in the press, we dismiss the United States as the leading power in the world, but this is what it is today. And especially, we are accusing Donald Trump as being a non-competent president, while so far he succeeded in several areas. The first one, as he announced it, he managed to have a tax reform which was a very big promise during his campaign. On the second point, he also promised to reduce the immigration from a certain number of countries. So his ban on Muslim countries, or some Muslim countries, has also been put into motion. And lastly, when he transferred the embassy of the United States from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, there was a little bit of opposition, but in fact, the main countries have accepted the fait accompli, and no one was protesting vehemently against this. After the United States, the long-standing enemy of the United States, Soviet Union, has given birth to another country, which is Russia today. And Russia, in the year 1917, was back on scene, especially through the Syrian crisis, when they managed to help al-Assad in order to win in Syria. So they have celebrated the Syrian operation as a success, and practically the whole world has accepted it as a success. On the domestic or the near neighborhood scene, they also have secured to have Crimea within Russia without a very big opposition coming from outside. And on the real domestic scene, the next elections in Russia are predicting a very large victory for Mr. Putin. The third big player on the international scene is obviously China. In the past year, China is a country that launched a very big initiative which is called One Belt, One Road, and all countries are interested in cooperating with. Concerning the international scale, they are continuing, based on One Belt, One Road, to establish a certain number of ports. Would it be in the Gulf or would it be outside? And they also tested what would be the resolution coming from India in the Himalayan region if there is some kind of tension happening there. The President Xi Jinping has been confirmed as the main leader in China during the process of the Communist Party last year. So we can expect that in the few years to come, he will not have any challenger, he will not have any opposition. So China can continue on its own rhythm, on its own pace, and the real test for China will be the South China Sea. What will happen there? Will they cooperate? Will they negotiate with ASEAN? Or would it be on a country-per-country basis? The fourth biggest player is the European Union. However, the European Union appears to be weak because United Kingdom is getting out according to Brexit. The negotiation for the Great Coalition in Germany has just finished. So there would be a great coalition in Germany, but the position of Angela Merkel as a chancellor is becoming very weak today. In the other big countries, such as Italy, there would be elections this year, or Spain, we have a continuous stalemate with Catalonia, so they are not ready to have a very big role on the international scene. At the end of the day, only one country appears to be stable, with a young leader, and this is France. So the question is France able to be the engine of the European Union, taking into account that so far it was the role of Germany? There would certainly be other players appearing in the 2018. Would it be Korea? Would it be Iran? Would it be India? Would it be Pakistan? But the main players are still the same. So it would be very wrong to write off the United States because it appears to be isolationist. It appears to going back to its own theater. But the United States is the only country which is having the military capacity to be present in several fronts at the same time. So even if Russia, even if China are coping with the United States, even if they want to be the rivals of the United States, we still have a domination of the United States, and everyone is looking at what is happening in the United Nations. Will they veto one resolution, or will they push, such as was the case concerning the transfer of embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem? So we still have to consider the United States as the main player, in spite of all demands from outside to limit the place of the United States on the international scene.